You know, in the pharma world, there's this huge myth floating around about quality management systems, or QMS. The common wisdom is that they're really only for the big players, the giants. Well, today we're going to challenge that idea head-on and really dig into why a strong QMS is so critical for companies of any size. Let's get into it.
So let's just ask the question right out of the gate. Is a solid quality management system a luxury that only massive corporations can afford? Is it something totally out of reach or maybe even unnecessary for smaller manufacturers? This is the core myth we are going to bust today.
All right, first things first. Let's confront this misconception directly. Because honestly, understanding the reality behind this myth is absolutely crucial for any pharmaceutical company, no matter how big or small.
And this slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the myth that a QMS is just this complicated, heavy burden that only the giants can possibly handle. But then you look at the reality, and it's brutally simple. Regulatory bodies, they don't care how big you are. The rules are the rules, and they apply to everyone, period.
So that brings up a really important question, right? If a QMS is required for everybody, is it just another headache you have to deal with? Or could it actually be a support system? It's time to reframe how we think about this, especially if you're a smaller business.
For so many micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, this is a very, very real scenario. You've got tons of critical knowledge, years of experience, all stored in the heads of just a handful of key people. And look, that experience is priceless, but it's also a massive, massive vulnerability. I mean, what happens if one of those people walks out the door?
And this is where a QMS comes in and saves the day. It basically transforms your company. Think of it like this. You start out with all that crucial knowledge tied to specific people. Then you bring in the QMS. You start documenting clear processes, defining who does what. And what's the end result? All that knowledge gets embedded into the system itself, not just in the people. You go from being people-dependent to system-dependent. And that is what stability looks like.
Okay, so if you're running a smaller operation, what are the regulators actually looking for? Do they really expect you to have the same 1,000-page binder as some global behemoth? Let's get practical here.
These are the fundamentals, the absolute pillars of any good QMS. Regulators expect to see every single one of these, no matter your size. Things like document control, how you handle deviations, change control. These are the basics. And of course, CAPA, corrective and preventative actions. These systems are totally non-negotiable.
Now, this is such a crucial point. While those principles we just talked about are universal, the way you implement them can and should be different. A smaller company's QMS shouldn't just be a shrunken-down copy of a big one. No way. It needs to be simple, it needs to be practical, and it absolutely needs to be risk-based. The goal is being effective, not creating a mountain of paperwork.
Okay, now this is where the whole story just flips on its head. We've been talking about requirements and vulnerabilities, but what if I told you that being small could actually be your secret weapon? What if a well-run smaller company could actually run circles around a giant?
Just let that one sink in for a second. It's such a powerful idea. A small, nimble company that has a really robust, well-oiled quality management system can absolutely crush an audit. They could potentially do even better than a massive corporation that's let its own super complex systems get weak and tangled up. It's not about size, it's about strength. And let's be crystal clear about why companies get into hot water with regulators. A lot of the time, it's not because they ran out of money. It's because of fundamental breakdowns in their systems. We're talking about uncontrolled changes being made, investigations that go nowhere, or so-called corrective actions that don't actually fix anything. These are system problems, not size problems.
So, as we start to wrap this up, let's just boil it all down to its core message. In this whole conversation, what is the true meaning of a quality management system?
This is it. This is the ultimate takeaway. It has never, ever been about how big your building is or how many people are on your payroll. It is, and it always will be, about the strength of your processes, the control you have over your day-to-day operations, and the continuity you can guarantee. That's what real quality is all about.
So we'll end with this question for you to think about. And it doesn't matter if you're in a company of 5 people or 5,000. I want you to look past the size, look past the budget, and really ask yourself, what is the true strength of your system?